welcome to special stage for the second round of the REIS Get Connected Asphalt Rally Championship. There has been so much excitement building towards this event, and many of the competitors have made their way to the Isle of Man for this, the Manx National Rally. It has been running since the 1980s, and as a closed road event has always proven a popular and challenging round of the championship. And the challenge for the crews would start here in Port Erin. This year sees the stage run twice, always a popular stage with the spectators, and leading after the opening pair of stages were Paul Bird and Kirsty Riddick. Last year's event winner and previous champion Melvyn Evans and Allied Davies were expected to go well here this weekend, and they didn't disappoint. Second fastest over the opening spectator stages was a good way to start the campaign for another win here.
One left, no cut, and two right, 50. Left and two right, and two left, and flat right, flat left, into one right of a crest and jump, and middle of a flat crest, 50. Right of a crest and big jump, into right and two left, 50. Three left, 40. Two right.
It would be a good start too for John Stone and Rob Fagg. John usually finding himself in a chasing position at the end of day one of this event, but this time round it would be third after the opening stages.
Right 5, into cross long, 150 on the crossroads, to right 2 long over crest, into caution, right 5 slowing, into left 6 no cut, into right 2 long, left 3 don't cut, into square right.
For Damien Cole and James Morgan it would be fourth, certainly not where the current champions want to finish the event, but this was only a short opening loop. The real time could be gained when the stages move out of Port Erin.
Long left 5 tightens 7. And right 4 opens over flat crest, 150. Long right 1, over crest and right 4. And left 4 minus, tightens, don't cut. Long right 1, left 3, don't cut. And right 5, don't cut. With the left 4 minus, tightens, don't cut. Line 60.
Leading the local crews at the end of stage 2 would be Steve Quine and Richard Skinner. The pair have had mixed success on their last few events, but this weekend seemed to be going well so far in 5th place. For John INDRI it would be the second co-driver in as many events, this time the Isle of Man resident Pete Johnson joining him in the car as he did in 2011. And once again it was about survival and getting to the finish. But that wasn't without trying, which was easy to see through the opening 2 stages as the pair settle into 6th place. Steve Simpson couldn't have gone any worse here this year. 2011 saw the Subaru driver retire before the start of the event, so to make it round the opening stages was a result in itself. Maybe a cautious start in 7th overall, but with plenty more stages to make up their time over the weekend. 8th overall was a good start for Graham Coffey and David Gamblin in the similar Subaru WRC. Second of the island crews in the top of the results would be Nigel and Michaela Cannell. An accident at the end of last season not helping the confidence on the return to the stages, but it was going okay so far in 9th place. And leading the front-wheel drive crews as well as rounding off the top 10 in 10th place were Peter Taylor and Andrew Roughhead in the Clio R3. It wouldn't be the best start for Andy Fenwick and Johnny Vance. The first return to the Isle of Man in a number of years. They get as far as the end of stage 2 before the rear hub broke on the Hyundai and ended their event. So after the opening stages, this is how the top 10 is looking. So with the spectator stages complete, it was on to the classic Manx lane and a chance for Melvyn Evans and Allied Davies to jump up into the top spot with a lead of almost 30 seconds now.
80. Flat left into 3 right late, keep in, 50. Flat left, 130. 2 left and turn hairpin right round Bale. 100. Right over crest into 4 left, no cut downhill. 80.
I think Paul BRID is going to be trying harder this weekend, and he knows the island fairly well. But we'll just plod on tonight. Now there's a lot of miles tonight, and anything can happen. It's early days at the moment.
Yes, they're very tricky and technical stages tonight, and as you said, a lot of miles.
A lot of miles. I think half the rallies tonight. So and now we're into the proper stages. This is where you can make time or lose a lot of time. So we'll just keep our heads together and see how good we can go.
Paul BRID and Kirsty Riddick dropped down to second. It's a jump up a place for DAMIAN Cole and James Morgan now as they step up to the final podium position after 4 stages.
Right 3. Line 150, flat left. 40, flat right. 300. Go flat left. Absolute left. Line for 250. Left 4 at the yellow bin. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Left 4. And right 4, line 300, right 4 over crest.
Damien, your rally here last year was ground to a sudden halt, so I know that you'll be looking for a better result here this year.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get to the finish this time. We retired from second place on the Saturday morning last year on the second stage, so it will be good to go all the way through tomorrow and get to the end.
Yes, get through tomorrow, but a lot of miles tonight, really.
Yeah, at least half the rally. I think a bit more than half the rallies tonight. So I think a lot of the positions are going to be decided tonight.
Which unfortunately for John Stone and Rob Fagg means a drop down a place into 4th. A stall at the end of stage 3 costing the pair a few seconds, but still a great position for the pair so far.
It's a tight, very tight hairpin right, don't cut. Come on. Into left 3 long, 80, and turn left 3, 100, and crest, and right 2 long, press finish right 2 long, 100, okay, sorry Rob, it's just a shame that was a good run, yeah.
Well, the opening round was brought to a sudden halt for you, John, with clutch problems, but all sorted out and ready to attack this weekend?
Yeah, all sorted out. We bought a spare one as well, so we can swap it very quickly if need be. It seems to be like the Achilles heel of the car, but yeah, we just had a good steady run through for the first 3 stages, so very pleased.
Yeah, you have the information from that first 3?
Yeah, I think we were sort of around about Damian's pace, which is fantastic.
The faster stages would be the ideal place for Steve Simpson and Patrick Walsh to gain some time back. 2 places to be exact, as the pair make their move up to 5th place now.
Keep going. 3 left tightens, a little bit of water inside. 40 past quarry, 5 right. 5 right. And 1 left, 150. Flat 1 left, 200. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Remember, 1 left of the crest, 80, double chicane.
Steve, compared to last year, already a better event for you.
Much better. We've made the first 3 stages, so yeah, much better event. So yeah, it's good. It's tight. It's very, very fast, and it's bumpy out there. So we're just going to take a couple of clicks off the suspension now, just to try and soften it up a bit, because it's just skitting a bit too much. So other than that, very good. Yeah.
How confident do you feel about tonight's stages? They are quite technical.
They're very technical. Yeah. It's quite good because there's no rain, so it's dry as it stands at the minute. So it gives us a bit more confidence.
John INDRI and Pete Johnson would drop a place over stage 4, having a bit of a high-speed moment, which wouldn't help the confidence in the car as they lie in 6th place now and chasing Simpson down.
Lose it, 3 right over bump, 50, caution 3 left, crest jump at house, 1 right over jump. 40, caution 7 left, 5 right, 40, stay right, turn hairpin left rainbow, handbrake, 80 up, absolute flat, right over crest, 80, flat, 2 left, 80, fast, 3 right.
I tell you what, that is like a video game. We're so much. Someone's just shown us the times. We're sort of about 7th overall. I can't do any more. The thing's floating over the bumps. I just spoke to Martin Wilkinson, who runs John Stone's car. Used to work with Colin McRae. He must know something about suspension, and you know, he said to us, he's given us a little thing there just to soften it up a little bit. So we're going to try that. It's great on the fast stuff, but the trouble is the Manx guys. I got the clerk of the course last year to say, why is it so bumpy? But they have to slow the world cars down to a certain extent. Ironically, that's what the world cars do best, is the bumpy stuff. So, but listen, I'm 7th, so I'll take that. You know, you've got to get through this. If I go any quicker, it's going to crash. You know, so it's like, well, let's get through.
A place gained for Graham Coffey and David Gamblin now as they move up into 7th. As do Nigel and Michaela Cannell, jumping up to 8th place now, and following some problems for Steve Quine, it means Cannell leads the local crews into the championship standings. Stage 4 sees a jump up into the top 10 for Steve Cressy and Sam Collis too. The escort pair entertaining the spectators in their usual style on the way to 9th at the end of this loop of stages. And remaining in their 10th place at this moment are Peter Taylor and Andrew Roughhead in the Clio. The stage is suiting the little R3 car this weekend. It wouldn't be the best of events for Washington James and Leno's Jones Davies in the Darien. They only make it as far as stage 3 before gearbox problems end their event as quick as it started.
Washington, it would be a bit difficult contending this event on 1st and 4th gear. What's going on here behind us?
Yeah, I don't know. We went through the first 2 stages. The car felt really good. And then about halfway through the 3rd, we just lost 3rd gear. And then we lost 2nd, 3rd, 5th and 6th. So we've come back to service.
Are they going to be able to rectify it here?
No, we didn't finish stage 3, so we're out to the rally.
4 stages down and another 4 to go this evening, including 2 runs around Marine Drive. And for Melvyn Evans and Allied Davies, it was more stage miles for the chasing crews to push them as far as they could. They remain in the lead, but the difference now down to just 20 seconds.
Into 9 left, no cut. 80. 9 right at wall, late, and long 9 left, into 6 right, into 2 left, into 9 right, 60, 1 right in and crest into 7 left late, 60, 1 right in and crest and 7 left late, 80, 2 left no cut, into 9 right late.
Paul Bird and Kirsty Redick keep hold of 2nd. Frustration for Damian Cole and James Morgan as they feel a little off the pace. The difference at the end of day 2, almost 2 minutes to the rally leaders at the moment. A push would be needed on day 2.
Right 1 into long left 2 past the house. And long flat right, 100, long flat right, tightens to 1 late. Left 1 over crest and right 1 over bump kink. 80 down, right 2, 30, flat right, flat left over crest, 100, down through the bridge, right entry chicane, go, 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 go. Left 7 round the bail. Flat crest, flat left, flat right, 60.
For John Stone and Rob Fagg, it would be more of the same. Still holding on to that 4th place, and even stalling again on the rerun of the Parville stage in exactly the same place. Luckily only a few seconds lost, but it does give the chasing cars a chance to catch them slightly now.
Done it again. Into left 3 long.
One of those chasing crews being John INDRI and Pete Johnson, determined to take time out of Steve Simpson in his own personal battle over these stages, and his confidence works as he jumps past Simpson to take 5th now. So for Steve Simpson and Patrick Walsh, it would be the end of day 1, just 0.8 seconds behind INDRI. And with around half of the event's mileage on day 2, it was still anyone's event to win or lose. No change in the rest of the top 10 over the day's remaining stages, as Graham Coffey and David Gamblin maintain a 7th place result going into day 2. Nigel and Michaela Cannell head the local crews into the overnight break in 8th overall, while Steve Cressy and Sam Collis keep hold of the 9th place they picked up on the last loop. And it's still the Clio R3 of Peter Taylor and Andrew Roughhead that rounds off the top 10 at the end of day 1. So as day 1 draws to a close, let's have a look at the class positions after 8 stages. In Class N2, it would be a good lead at the end of day 1 for Chris Wheeler and Jan Griffiths in the Fiesta. They run away with the class lead after the day's 8 stages. And for Alison Locke and Ian Davison, it would have to be 2nd in class for now. Some way off the class leaders though. Class N4 would see our local crew of Nigel and Michaela Cannell take the lead, almost 6 minutes at the end of day 1. Paul James and Derek Davies were the pair in that 2nd place, the Evo 10 crew not able to keep up with the pace of the leaders. And rounding off the podium places in Class N4 at the end of day 1 are Richard Barnard and Frank Curtin in the Impreza. In Class A6 it would be Adam Clues and Peter Williams in the Puma that take the day 1 lead, a 20-second time penalty not changing the outcome, at this stage anyway. Alex Laffey and Jack Morton bring a more modern Ford to 2nd in the class as they take their Fiesta to the end of the day just less than 3 minutes off the class lead. And Graham Butler and Jamie Foster in the 2nd of the Pumas in the top of the class take up 3rd. In Class B10 it would be both good and bad luck for Darren and Sue Underwood in the Nova. They have a good run before hitting a curb and causing damage to the car's rear beam. Roadside repairs were carried out, but around 12 minutes were lost. Despite this problem, they do manage to hold on to the class lead though. The reason for this would be the retirement from day 1 of Kev Monaghan and David Jones after the car lost all power over the finish line of the Port Erin stage. Peter Taylor and Andrew Roughhead take control of the B11 class in the Clio, with Graham Hollis and Alan Jones just under 2 minutes behind them in 2nd place. Martin Hodgson and Tony Jones round off the class top 3 a further minute and a half back in 3rd. John INDRI and Pete Johnson lead the B12 class overnight, 2.5 minutes off the lead at this stage, while Steve Cressy and Sam Collis take up 2nd in the class. Peter Jackson and James Whittaker lie a further 2 minutes back in 3rd place. After a disappointing end to round 1, it would be a welcome lead off the B13 class for Neil Arden and Giles Corbett, but it wouldn't be a comfy lead. Just 5 seconds separate them from 2nd place David Hardy and John McCullough, returning to the championship again this season after missing round 1. Simon Chapman and Tony Graham round off the top 3 in the class in the Metro 6R4. The good run on Friday's stages is enough to give John Stone and Rob Fagg the lead of the B14 class. While Lee Vivian and Rob Hanna head up a Subaru duo in the next class, places second for the pair at this stage. With Mark Worley and Hamish Campbell in the newer Impreza rounding off the top 3 in B14. With the first day complete, this is how the results look going into day 2.
Day 2 here on the Isle of Man for the Manx National Rally. Melvyn Evans holds on to a 22nd overnight lead from Paul Bird. But as we know, Paul Bird put it off on the first stage on day 2 last year. There is still plenty to come, over 57 stage miles. So let's get back to the action. But today's a new day, Melvyn, and new stages to contend with.
Yeah, they're new stages, and I don't think I've been on these. If anything, probably done them once years ago, but they're quite tricky. Even though they're short stages, it's quite easy to lose a lot of time in there.
Can you take a win on Manx today?
I'm going to try, definitely. I haven't come here to finish second. We're going to try for it.
Well, John, as you've commented, Friday night was always the difficult challenge for you.
Yeah, every year. We've been doing it since 2005, and we generally make a mess of it on Friday night, but we got through quite well last night, so very pleased.
For you, John, it was all summed up in that battle on the very last stage last night.
I think it was one of your cameramen, Luke, that was at the start of that. I was being a bit boisterous, I wasn't being nasty, but I knew on the previous stage I'd taken, I think, 4 or 6, I think, out of Steve Simpson. I thought, I think I'm only 4 behind him going into this. Should we try? A little bit we tried, because we were on very soft tyres, so that marine drive. Yeah, and I ended up the night 0.8 seconds ahead of him, so I'm sure he's going to get that all back today, but hey-ho, I think we're 5th overnight in the championship standings, which I always say I would have bitten your arm off for it, but I truly would have done for that. So Rob Fagg's waving to me, he's wishing me good luck, obviously, because I'm only 11 seconds behind John Stone as well, so... The trouble is, these 4 stages this morning, I don't know if you've looked at them on the camera for shots, they're very, very... they're not... You know, we need nice long straights, but hey-ho, BRID, I'm having a fantastic time, so...
So happy enough with the night stages, Steve, although Mr John INDRI is certainly going to put it up to you.
He is, isn't he? Yeah, he's doing well, bless him. We'll see how they go today, you know, I'm not very good in the dart, so... We'll see how we go today. It's a good event, and we're still here, so...
And just as they had done on day 1, Melvyn Evans and Allied Davies start to pull away from the chasing crews and open up their advantage to 40 seconds now.
Left 80. 4 left at bin, 80. Long one left uphill, 50. Flat crest into long flat left, into 9 right, 40. Middle of a flat crest, 30. 4 right, into 3 left, 80. 2 left at gate, 80. 2 left at tree, 50. Crest, 80. Downhill caution. Watch the braking left and hairpin right through Ford. Wipers, 100. 2 left in, 80. Left onto crest, 2 right through wall, 50. 3 right of a crest in, 200.
Well, a quick start for you this morning, Melvyn, and you've increased that lead.
Yeah, it was a good loop of stages for Australia, and still Paul is close behind. He's still there. We've got to keep our eyes on him, and anything can happen. They're tricky enough, them stages. They're narrow and bumpy and a bit of everything in there.
Paul Bird and Kirsty Riddick remain in second. Drama at the start of day 2 for Damien Cole and James Morgan as they find a power steering pipe broke and no spare. A quick repair by the PR Ben mechanics sees them able to continue, but still no advance on third at the moment.
Into left 1, don't cut. Right 4. Into right 3. Left 4 bump. And right 4 minus, don't cut. 40. Left 8. 60, left don't cut, immediate right 4 tightens 4 minus, immediate right 6, 40. Slow left into turn right 4 minus. 200. Long flat crest into long flat right. 100. Right 1 over crest. 200. Keep going. Right 2. And right 1 over crest.
We visited the camp this morning. There was a bit of drama there, Damien.
Yeah, power steering pipe had burst. They didn't notice it last night, so they took it off this morning and bypassed the cooler. So we've now got no power steering cooler, but it seems to all be okay at the moment.
It's going to have affected your drive up until now.
No, it's been fine this morning. Hasn't made any difference. As long as I don't keep it on full lock, it's fine.
Continuing the good pace from day one, John Stone and Rob Fagg would be just 2 minutes off the pace of Cole at the end of the morning stages.
So John, still an enjoyable run for you?
Yeah, very much so. Those 4 stages were fantastic, but just not long enough really to get into them, but really good classic stages, I suppose.
And swapping times with Mr. Simpson there.
Yep, my old nemesis, Steve. Yep, we go back a long way, me and Steve, single venuing and things like that. So it's good to be back on that pace, really.
How are you expecting the afternoon stages will go?
Good. We've got a loop of that 4 there, and then we've got 2 of the big classic stages this afternoon. So looking forward to those.
Having made it through day one, it was half the battle over for Steve Simpson and Patrick Walsh. And the faster stages on day 2 allowed them to take back some time from INDRI and jump ahead in the standings now to 5th overall.
So Stephen, a productive morning for you then so far?
Yeah, very productive. We've gone out there, we've pushed a little bit harder today. We've got the right tyre compound and we've got down them lanes. We've got Mr. INDRI back.
This was bad news for John INDRI and Pete Johnson, of course, but leading the 2-wheel drive crews and with only World Rally cars ahead of them, it was looking good for INDRI after the day's first loop.
So a bit of a challenging morning so far, John.
Yes, challenging. I've come up that road section just thinking, no, some of the boys are kind enough, Stoney and Damien, to make me smile and forget about the problems. But at the high speed bump, all of those stages are bumpy. The car's too fast for what the suspension can do. But it seems like Graham Coffey's potentially gone off, and so he's dropped down. Nigel Cannell is 30 seconds behind us. I'm prepared to let Nigel go and just take the ball. It's a shame, but I am going to have the biggest... I've had a 120 mile an hour moment, and you think, oh, that came out of nowhere, you know, so I think we've got to go into the time control, but not very happy. But we'll keep going. We've got to get to the end, haven't we? Got to get to the bar tonight.
Unfortunately for Graham Coffey and David Gamlin, it would be the end of a good run in 7th place as the input shaft on the Impreza breaks on stage 10, meaning it's an early finish for Team Coffey this time round. This retirement, of course, does promote others up the order, including Nigel and Michaela Cannell in the Evo as they take up 7th place. Peter Taylor and Andrew Roughhead have a good run in the morning, better than in the dark of day 1, and they step up to 8th place now.
So Peter, difficulties for you last night in the dark? They weren't your favourite stages?
No, the stages in the light were okay, and then when it came to the dark stages, our pace just about half, and we were going about 20 to 30 seconds slower through in the dark, and it shouldn't have happened.
But it's been looking up for you today?
Yeah, today's a lot better. The stages are a lot tighter and twistier and bumpier, and yeah, it suits the car a lot better and suits me a lot better because it's daylight.
And it's still 9th for Steve Cressy and Sam Collis. The pair are still enjoying throwing the Escort around the classic Manx stages. And rounding off the top now at the end of the day's morning loop were David Hardy and John McCulloch, getting back into the flow after being away from the events for a few months. Unfortunately, it would be the end of the road for George Mackey and Simon Hunter They retire on stage 12 when the centre diff of the car cries too much. Over the next loop of stages, the only thing to change at the top would be the advantage. Now up to almost 50 seconds for Melvyn Evans and Allied Davies, as the 2011 event winner maintains the lead of the event going into the final loop of stages.
Melvyn, very good. You're continuing to pull away from the pack.
Yeah, things are going to plan at the moment, you know. But still, we're pushing hard, you know, and hopefully we've got a bit of a buffer before the other ones.
Was it a good 4 stages?
Yeah, brilliant. No problems at all.
Paul Bird and Kirsty Riddick still hold on to second. For Damien Cole and James Morgan, it seemed that they had managed to get back on the pace on day 2, but it may have been a little too late, and they don't lose any time to second, but they also don't gain any. And with just 4 stages remaining, it would only be a retirement or mistake ahead that would see them take home more points.
Damien, was that an improved loop?
About the same as the first one, I think. A couple of seconds quicker on most of them. But I think we're still dropping a bit of time to Melvyn, but pulling away from everybody behind us again.
No problems for John Stone and Rob Fagg over this loop of stages. In fact, quite the opposite, as they maintain a good pace to keep hold of 4th place. However, with Simpson trying to close in on them, it wasn't over just yet.
Left 1 over 100 and right 2, 500 all the way to the tree, to the left 4 in the tree, so left 4 into left 1, that's gone into right 3, into right 2, 200 and caution left 5 here. And then 300 over the finish, all the way, 300 to left 1 and right 5. Okay. Well done through there, pal. Yeah, good.
John, you've gained time on that last loop.
Yeah, it's going well. Going really well, car's fantastic. Rob's not so bad. Getting the hang of it now.
Are you looking forward to Druidale coming up?
Yeah, the great stages, these next 2, so fantastic. Looking forward to it.
The difference between Stone and Steve Simpson was just now 21 seconds. So with 4 stages to go, it would be a big push from Simpson and co-driver Patrick Walsh to try and take that extra place at the end of the event.
You're still keeping John at bay anyway?
We are. We took a bit of time off him in there, I think, so we'll have to see on the last 4 now. See how we go.
Yes, 4 to go. Druidale is one of them. We're looking forward to that.
Ah, yeah, definitely, yeah. Good stage, definitely.
For John Indri and Pete Johnson, it was unfortunately still 6th place, losing a little time to Simpson as the day goes on. But not much, only 40 seconds separating them at this stage, and Indri still leading the 2-wheel drive cars.
Any hairy moments on that loop, John?
No. We got Martin Wilkinson, who's an ex-Colin McRae mechanic, now runs John Stone's car. He's going to get some man love from me. He's taught me a few tricks on the suspension. It's now safe. I reckon we can keep Nigel Cannell behind us and wait for the World Rally Cars to hopefully finish.
That's the game plan. It would work.
Cheers, guys.
And no change at the bottom of the top 10 either, as Nigel and Michaela Cannell keep the pace in the Evo and remain in 7th. Peter Taylor and Andrew Ruffett hold 8th still in the Clio R3. The pair do, however, lose a little time on this loop when they hit a rock and struggle with bent steering. This of course played into the hands of Steve Cressy and Sam Collis as they close the gap to Taylor now, just 16 seconds. While David Hardy and John McCulloch continue to round off the top 10 after stage 16. And here's a look at how the results stack up going into the final loop of stages.
We've reached the final leg of the challenge here in the Isle of Man at the Manx Rally, and the Subaru of MELVYN Evans has let service once again with that lead that he has dominated the event with all weekend. Can he retain the lead? It's back to the stages.
So with just 4 stages remaining, let's take a look at how the classes were decided. And second in Class N2 would be the Saxo of Alison Locke and Ian Davison. But with a good advantage that they gained early in the event, it would be a class win for Chris Wheeler and Jan Griffiths in the Fiesta.
5 left press and 4 left over bump, lead through here. Yeah. 4 and 80 and don't cut 4 right and 5 left over finish and 6 right over bridge. Yee-hoo! Job done. You beauty.
There wouldn't be any change in the Class N4 results at the end of the event, as Richard Barnard and Frank Curtin take the final podium place in third. It would only be a further 2 minutes advantage to second place Paul James and Derek Davies in the Evo 10. They go home with the second in class trophy. But the clear leaders of the N4 class are Nigel and Michaela Cannell. Only one finisher would make it to the end in Class A6 as the 2 Pumas drop out of the results, so that means it's a class victory for Alex Laffey and Jack Morton in the Fiesta. After the problems on day 1, it would be a super rally for Kev Monaghan and David Jones in the Corsa as they come back out for day 2, and despite time penalties for the problems on day 1, they still get themselves second in Class B10. But on the first visit to the Isle of Man for Darren and Sue Underwood, it would be a well-deserved class win in the powerful Nova. In Class B11, it would be all change on day 2 as we see Matt Beebe and Paula Winscoe finish the event third in class in the MG. Ian Kenvin and Ian Meakin have a good run over the second day's stages to take second in class. But it's no change at the top of the class as Peter Taylor and Andrew Ruffhead guide the Clio to the class trophy this weekend. In Class B12, it would be third place for Richard Felgate and Mark Mason in the BMW. Unfortunately for second in class, Steve Cressy and Sam Collis, they would suffer problems on stage 18 and be forced to retire, a disappointing end to a good result. This leaves the second place in B12 open, and it's Peter Jackson and James Whittaker that take advantage of that and step up to claim the silverware. But it's the Darien crew of John Indri and Pete Johnson that take the class win with a good margin over second place Jackson. It would be all change in Class B13 as Day 1 leaders Neil Arden and Giles Corbett drop down a few places and end the event in third. Still some good points after the round 1 non-finish, but not the class win that they could have been in line for. It would, however, mean a step up into second place for Simon Chapman and Tony Graham. As well as the class result, it would also be 10th overall for the Metro pair this weekend. But with a push over day 2, it would be a well-deserved class win for David Hardy and John McCulloch on their return to the championship. The result also nets them 9th in the final overall standings. Coming out on top of the front-wheel drive this weekend were Peter Taylor and Andrew Ruffhead. The result looked good from the start and the pair showed the car and crew were more than capable of a good result over the tricky stages. Bad news in the final stages for John Indri and Pete Johnson as they drop one more place and end the event in 7th overall. Some good championship points for Indri and not a scratch on the car at the end of 2 difficult days rallying.
47 right over crest, 5 left, crest, 50, 6 right, tightens, hairpin left, don't cut. 9 right, 80 line, stop waving at the people. Right, 4 left grid, 150.
Well, this weekend wasn't without drama for John Indri.
I've run out of words to say, BRID. Yeah, just unbelievable. We learn every single time you come to bumpy events, you know, and we rolled the dice on that last stage and tried something completely different. And yeah, whatever, it was enjoyable. You've definitely, hopefully, I think it's Luke, can't call him what I call him, but he's definitely got, I think I was waving to him as he's going, and my navigator's going, because we'd already done it at the hairpin and the other jumps, and will you stop waving at everybody? But I'm enjoying myself because it's nearly over. But this is not, if anyone thinks they can drive that faster down these lanes, you show me how to do it, because you can't, but hey ho, we'll go to the second half of the championship and we'll see what happens. But
So with a last minute push for Nigel and McKenna Cannell, it would be 6th place, and if time was going to be made up for Cannell anywhere on the event, it would be the Druidel stage, which is exactly what they did, using the knowledge of the stage to their advantage to jump up those results. No advantage for Steve Simpson and Patrick Walsh as they end the event in 5th place. As hard as they tried, they couldn't catch the cars ahead and have to settle for 5th. Still a much better result than last time out on the Isle of Man.
Well, like everyone on the last loop, Steve, you've upped the pace as well.
Yeah, we did. We tried to up it to try and get a few seconds back here and there, but everybody else has upped the pace as well, by the looks of it. So, good event though, We're pleased to be here at the finish. And obviously better than we did last year, so a few more points for the championship and off to the Jim Clark we go.
So for John Stone and Rob Fagg, it would be a well-deserved 4th place. The speed and commitment had been there all weekend and allowed the pair to hold the place for the majority of the event.
Well, you certainly battled on, John, and to take 4th here, you happy with that?
Yeah, fantastic. Best result here, 4th, and to beat Steve is fantastic.
It was great to have that nip and tuck battle with Steve.
Yeah, it was the sort of second division really, apart from these 3 lads on the front. But no, I'm pleased with what we've done today.
The pace has really stepped it up since last year, and taking that on to the Jim Clark, how confident are you feeling for that event?
Yeah, as confident as we can be. Like the event, we've been leading that before in the Metro and had a good result a couple of years ago, so there's no reason why we can't do well.
For Damien Cole and James Morgan, it would be problems to the end. The car clearly not performing well over the final stage, but the pair are able to limp the car home and keep hold of their 3rd overall.
Damien, you certainly weren't without problems today, but you managed to stick in 3rd place and you've won it by a huge margin.
Yeah, we've had a better year than last year. At least we got to the finish. It was quite difficult this afternoon. We've had a problem with the gearbox oil temperature shooting up. So we had to, especially the last stage, we had to back right off and just trundle through and hope to get it to the end, and luckily it did.
Hopefully there'll be less of the mechanical problems at the Jim Clark, and maybe there'll be a bit more of a battle with Paul Bird and Melvyn Evans at the top.
Yeah, some of the stages today we weren't far away. It was only a couple of seconds here and there. I think some of it's got to do with maybe we're struggling a little bit with an older car. But we were nearly there on a few stages, so I think it can be done, but we're going to have to push awful hard on the Jim Clark, I think, to try and win it.
Paul Bird and Kirsty Riddick finished the event in 2nd place. But it's a convincing victory for Melvyn Evans and Allied Davies as they dominate the event and take the victory, the 2nd in a row here on the Isle of Man for Evans, and the 2nd win of the season, maintaining their lead of the championship after round 2.
Well, congratulations, Melvyn. 2nd round of the championship, maximum points on both.
Yeah, it's great, obviously then to win the Manx again is great, absolutely great feeling.
I know the 4th time is important to you, but your own rival, Kenny McKinstry, has won it 5 times, so will you be back to try and match that result?
Definitely, it'd be nice if Kenny came back as well, to be honest, but no, I got to go for the 5th though now.
So at the end of 2 difficult days of rallying, here's a recap of the final results.
After Melvyn Evans' performance in the opening 2 rounds of this championship, it's just testament to how powerful the duo of this man and machine are. He has dominated once again, taking victory here on the Isle of Man. And as the crews pack up to leave here, the next round of the championship will be in Kelso in Scotland. We'll be there for the Jim Clark Rally. See you then.